Sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So I start with the topic that is particularly associated with the recent investigations in the field of neurological rehabilitation. वास्तव में सुनकर के थोड़ा आश्चर्य भी होगा कि अभी वर्तमान में क्या इन्वेस्टिगेशंस चल रहे हैं जो आप लोग जानते नहीं हैं और उपयोग में शायद इंडिया में नहीं होता है जैसा मैं सोचता हूँ. ठीक है. Now I started with my first slide. All of you can see this slide. This is a beautiful diagram of anybody can guess from where this place is. Is it anybody knows this place belongs to which area? This is a very beautiful place of New Raipur.
New Raipur.
New Raipur, yeah.
Yes.
I show this only to show you the recent the things which are put up in a small New Raipur, which is totally different from the old Raipur. It is having a green lush area, completely having an oxygen, having a jungle safari, and it is also having a good population. Okay, so always there is advancement in each and every field. If they can make a New Raipur, why not we can make a neurological rehabilitation, a new inventions, so that the person can benefit from our what we are doing. Okay, now thank you so much. Now move on to the second slide. So this is my topic, advanced investigations in the neurological rehabilitation. Next slide please. Okay, so firstly, everybody knows the definition of the neurorehabilitation, but I particularly go into the two parts of this. The first, initially, everyone is thinking of the neurorehabilitation is a medical process which aim is to aid recovery from the nervous system injury, and we can compensate it by the use of any type of devices what is left out with us. That is, either we can use a crutches, either we can use the walker, or we can use the orthosis. Now the concept has been totally changed with the time. Now with the time now, if the recovery is the more important thing, but if the full recovery cannot be achieved, then in that condition, it is very necessary that we can achieve their optimum physical, mental, social, and vocational capacity. That is, we try to develop the patient as much as it is possible so that he can live the life independently without using the equipments what we are using in the past. Okay, next slide please. Next slide. Yeah, now everybody knows in the neurology there is a relationship between the central nervous system and a peripheral nervous system, and we are dealing particularly with the CNS and the PNS. But here what we are mostly dealing is those problems which are related with the central nervous system, that is the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, next slide please. Next slide. Okay, now there are so many cases which requires a neurological rehabilitation, like a stroke, spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, etc. But we requires any conditions in which there is an spasticity, in which there is a flaccidity. The role of the neurological rehabilitation improves very fastly. Next slide please. Okay, now we come on our topic particularly. Now in the topic, we have the two ways of doing the neurological recovery. The one is called the new treatment principles, which are totally different from the past principles, in which we are particularly treating with the spasticity, flaccidity, and here now the concept has been changed. I'm not going into the detail of these treatment principles. I'm basically enter into the new investigation methods what we are using presently for knowing the neurological rehabilitation recovery. Next slide please. Okay, now The question arises, why this question comes? The question arises, are we doing really anything which promotes the brain recovery? Every student is here, so many therapists are here, and everybody doing a lot in a patient so that they can recover. But we have only the clinical methods to know whether we are doing is really helpful to the patient or not. ठीक है, अभी तक के जो कुछ भी हम करते हैं, चाहे either there is an spasticity or there is an flaccidity, we try so many techniques. We are doing the stretching, we are doing the anti flexor inhibiting patterns, we are using the anti-spastic patterns, we are doing the muscle stimulator. Everything what we are doing is really helpful to the patient, but we don't know how much real helpful, so that we can see this. Now, recent investigations will be able to give the answer of what is happened in our brain to our treatment response. यानी कि आप देख सकते हैं वास्तव में कि क्या सही में आप जो कुछ कर रहे हैं उससे पेशेंट को फायदा हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है। पहला ऐसे पॉसिबल नहीं था, आज भी ये चीजें जो हैं वो पॉसिबल नहीं है, लेकिन अब लेटेस्ट इन्वेस्टिगेशंस हो गए हैं जिससे हमें ये पता चल जाता है कि वास्तव में जो कुछ भी हो रहा है उसको हम असेस कर सकते हैं कि रियली द ब्रेन इज गोइंग टू रिकवर फ्रॉम दीज प्रॉब्लम्स और नॉट। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। Now everybody knows this neuroplasticity. Now neuroplasticity means the brain has an ability to recover after an injury, and this is called as neuroplasticity. I can explain in a very simple way. Suppose that if the person's one of the hand is amputated, then what happens? क्या वो person अपना life को छोड़ देगा? Is it possible? Then I can say no. We can teach the patient how to use the other hand for doing the activity for the rest of the life, the whole life. So what is that particularly? That is called as a neuroplasticity, which means that the hand which we are not using, now we are using that hand particularly for doing all the sole purpose. Even after that, before that, one of the speaker, Sayyid sir, also told you about the neuroplasticity. When we are doing the neuroplasticity activity, means some cortical restructuring is taking place in our brain in response to the treatment. What treatment we are giving is the total treatment जो भी हम कुछ पेशेंट को देते हैं, that will produce a cortical restructuring in your brain. यानी कि न्यूरॉन्स में कुछ मूवमेंट्स होता है, और जो कुछ न्यूरॉन्स में मूवमेंट हो रहा है, जो कुछ भी आप कर रहे हो, उससे जो कुछ भी चेंजेस आ रहे हैं, that will called as neuroplasticity. Okay, now next slide please. Now we move over on to the technology for the diagnosis of improvement. मैं एक एक करके आपको जो टेक्नोलॉजीज अभी वर्तमान में यूज हो रही हैं उन टेक्नोलॉजीज के बारे में बताऊंगा। The first technology is functional near infrared spectroscopy. Name it is also called as functional optical brain imaging. Now this is a technology in which is a very relatively non-invasive, safe, portable, low-cost method of indirect and direct monitor of the brain activity. It means that, next slide please, it means that whenever there is any change in the brain activity, this technology will help us to know where the change occurs and how the change can be measured. ठीक है, इसको मेजर करने के लिए हम लोग इंफ्रारेड लाइट का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, and that infrared light can monitor the blood flow in the brain. जो ब्लड फ्लो हो रहा है, जो भी आप एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं, उस एक्टिविटी से जो ब्लड फ्लो होता है, उस ब्लड फ्लो को हम लोग हीमोडायनेमिक रेस्पॉन्स बोलते हैं। एंड दैट हीमोडायनेमिक रेस्पॉन्स विल प्रोड्यूस व्हाट, द एक्टिविटी के कारण जो हीमोडायनेमिक रेस्पॉन्स प्रोड्यूस हुआ है, जो कि हम ज्यादा एक्टिविटी करेंगे तो ब्रेन में ज्यादा हीमोडायनेमिक रेस्पॉन्स प्रोड्यूस होगा, और ये हीमोडायनेमिक रेस्पॉन्स जो है वो इंफ्रारेड स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोपी इक्विपमेंट जो है वो उसको पकड़ लेती है, गैदर कर लेती है। ठीक है कि नहीं? नाउ इट अलाउज द इमेजिंग ऑफ द ब्रेन एक्टिविटी through monitoring of the blood oxygenation level. As the oxygen level in the brain is increased, particularly the oxygenation in the prefrontal area, if in the prefrontal area, if the oxygenation and the blood volume is increased, this particular instrument can make an image of that brain activity. Now please change the slide. Next slide. Please change the slide. Rajesh, please change the slide. Is my voice is audible? Rajesh, hello. Yeah, one more slide, please. One more slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. Now I show you the equipment. Now this person is wear this functional near infrared spectroscopy in the front of the head. That's why this equipment is particularly monitored the prefrontal cortex. आप इस पेशेंट को देखिए, वो अपने सिर के ऊपर में एक सेंसर को अटैच किया हुआ है। वो एक सेंसर राउंड शेप में है, and that will cover the subject's forehead, and this sensor is directly connected to the computing devices, as well as नीचे आपको एक दिखाई दे रहा होगा छोटा सा मॉनिटर, उसमें ये सेंसर जो है वो कनेक्टेड है। whenever the person is doing the activity, then this sensor will know what activity and which part of the brain is doing activity is recorded by that particular sensor. Please change the slide. Please change the next slide. Rajesh, please change the next slide. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, correct. Now, see, in this particularly, we can measure the concentration of the oxygen and deoxyhemoglobin by their different specific spectra in the near infrared range. Means this machine is able to know about only the infrared range. It doesn't know about anything. The oxygen concentration is increases, then this infrared equipment can measure that oxygen range, and the data has been recorded, and this data will be helpful in knowing the brain before, during, and after the task. So the data has been analyzed after the activity, whether before the activity there is any change in the brain activity occurs, during the activity what the changes occurs, and after the task what the change in the activity occurs. So जितना ज्यादा आप एक्टिविटी करेंगे उस पर्टिकुलर एरिया का उतना ही ऑक्सीजन कंटेंट उस एरिया में बढ़ेगा ब्लड कंटेंट के कारण, और उसको वो फंक्शनल नियर इंफ्रारेड स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोपी मेजर कर लेगा, एंड दैट विल बी रिकॉर्डेड, एंड यू कैन नो whether that part is start working or not. And that's why it is also called as cognitive brain monitor. इसीलिए हम उसको cognitive brain monitor कहते हैं, because it is also connect with the thinking of your brain. अगर आप ज्यादा सोचेंगे and particular part of the brain is more working, then there also an increase in the blood occurs, and that blood increase will be properly measured by how much increase in the blood occurs with the help of this infrared spectroscopy. So this is our first instrument which will show whether that particular part of the brain starts working or not working by your therapy given before and after the treatment. And if the recorder is continue connected, then even during the treatment time, you can also know that whether during the treatment period, really there is any improvement in that particular area of the brain occurs or not. This is functional near infrared spectroscopy. Next, please. Next slide, please. Now, this is, I show you, this is the real picture. The so many electrodes are placed in the different areas of the brain. Now, you can see the different areas of the brain, different lobes. This is the modified version of functional near infrared spectroscopy, and the patient has been connected with the computer monitor, and after that the therapist is doing the activity. So before the activity and after the activity, the changes in the infrared range, the increase in the oxygen level, the increase in the blood level will help us to know whether really what we are doing is really helpful to our patient or not. Please change the slide. Next slide, please. Now, after this, the second one, the second equipment or the instrument we are using, it is called as functional MRI. Now, everybody knows about the MRI. MRI आप लोग सुने होंगे. You are using the MRI for the study, and the MRI is done for the whole body part. It is done for the different parts of the body. But really, you know, the MRI in the case of the brain will help us to know the brain anatomy. Anatomy, it shows us which area of the brain is injured in particular insult, whether it is an hemorrhagic, whether it is an hypoxic. But the functional MRI is totally different from the brain anatomy, that is from the MRI. It shows us the brain function, whether how the brain function. So this is the difference between the MRI as the functional MRI. Next slide, please. Now, this functional MRI was developed in 1990 by C.G. Ogawa and Ken Kwang. These are the two persons who are involved in the invention of this MRI. Now, this also captures the blood oxygen levels in the part of the brain. This will also help us to capture the blood oxygen level in the parts of the brain which are responsible for movement, perception, and cognition. Means that it works in the principle of the BOLD. BOLD is called as blood oxygen level dependent signal. Means the particular area of the brain which is more active, if it is consumes more oxygen, जितना ज्यादा ब्रेन का वो एरिया एक्टिव होगा उतना ही ज्यादा वो ऑक्सीजन को कंजप्शन करेगा, और जितना ज्यादा वहां पर ऑक्सीजन कंजप्शन होगा उतनी डिमांड उस एरिया की बढ़ेगी, उतना ही ब्लड फ्लो उस एरिया में बढ़ेगा, और ये फंक्शनल एमआरआई जो है उस एरिया में उस इंक्रीज न्यूरल एक्टिविटी को रिकॉर्ड कर लेगा by the increase in the blood flow and increase in the oxygen level. Understand? So this is called as functional MRI. Now again, this functional MRI is working on the principle of blood oxygen level dependent signal. When you are doing the more neural activity, जितना ज्यादा आप न्यूरल एक्टिविटी करते हैं, मतलब जितना ज्यादा आप पेशेंट को एक्सरसाइज कराएंगे उतना ज्यादा उस एरिया में ऑक्सीजन बढ़ेगा, ब्लड फ्लो बढ़ेगा, उस ब्लड फ्लो को में जितना ऑक्सीजन वहां पर जाएगा ये एमआरआई उसको रिकॉर्ड कर लेगा और रिकॉर्ड करके आपको बता देगा कि उस एरिया में कुछ इंप्रूवमेंट हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. I will go into the uses of the functional MRI. Now in this, the first use, it is called as brain mapping. Brain mapping क्या चीज है? Actually now the few brain mappers are now developing in the India also. Now what, आपके बच्चे को बुलाते हैं और आपके बच्चे को बताएंगे कि वो बच्चा नेक्स्ट बड़ा होकर के क्या बन सकता है, आप इसकी ब्रेन मैपिंग करवा लीजिए. अंडरस्टैंड? Now the same thing is there कि जितना भी आप फंक्शन करते हो उस फंक्शन को ये फंक्शनल एमआरआई जो होती है वो रिकॉर्ड कर लेती है, और उस क्रिटिकल फंक्शन का एक हम रिकॉर्ड बना लेते हैं जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं ब्रेन मैपिंग। मींस उस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में ज्यादा एक्टिविटी हो रही है तो वो एमआरआई उस एक्टिविटी को रिकॉर्ड कर रहा है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ ब्रेन मैपिंग। नाउ द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज it can also assess the effects of stroke, head trauma or degenerative diseases on brain function. Means you can properly know that with the stroke, head trauma or the degenerative diseases, which part of the brain it how much affected, because if you are not able to move your finger, you can see in the functional MRI whether that part has been involved in the injury or not. Second thing, the third one is it helps to know the growth and function of the brain tumors. It shows that which part of the brain is not working, means that the size of the tumor is increasing day by day, the function of the patient is decreasing. So you can understand everything by using the functional MRI. And the last point is it is used by the surgeon, radiation therapy, to know that how the plan of the surgery can be planned without giving any type of invasive treatments for the brain. आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, ऊपर से इलेक्ट्रोड लगा रहे हो और सर्जरी की पूरी प्लान कर सकते हो कि कौन से एरिया से ब्रेन एक्टिविटी नहीं हो रही है, कैसे हमको किस एरिया में रेडिएशन थेरेपी देना है, so that the patient can work properly with the doctor and the doctor can understand which area of the brain is not working and we can how treat it. Okay, now next slide please. Now with the point of the view of a physiotherapist, I show you the few diagrams. Of functional MRI. Now see this. This is the diagram or a picture of stroke pre-rehabilitation and the stroke post-rehabilitation. The A is a control group in which no treatment has been given. The pre-rehab से compare करेंगे आप control group को, so there is no improvement at all. And we see the C part of that, where there is a lot of improvement by giving your treatment, that is shown by the functional MRI. Please go for the next slide. Next slide. Yeah. Now see, in this we are using for the treatment purpose, we are using an assistive robot therapy. This is also one of the inventive techniques which we are using in the field of particularly neurological rehabilitation. I'm not going into the detail of an assistive robotic therapy, but see this picture also. In this picture, pre-therapy grasp activity and supination pre-therapy activity is there, and see the post-therapy of both the conditions. What treatment you have given is really helpful for the patient. See the increase in the blood level, particularly in that area of the brain, with the oxygenation level has been increased and the patient's activity has been improved. So by showing this picture, you are able to tell really you are getting improvement in that particular area of the brain or not. Okay, next slide please. Next slide, Rajesh, next slide. Yeah, this is motor recovery after stroke. Back before slide, Rajesh, एक slide पहले. Yeah, this is the motor recovery after stroke. Now in this we are doing particularly one movement, that is the finger tapping task. सिर्फ finger को tap करना हम सिखा रहे हैं और कुछ नहीं सिखा रहे हैं. इस फिंगर टैपिंग टास्क का हमने एक फंक्शनल एमआरआई रिकॉर्ड किया. आप देख सकते हैं कि 5 मंथ में उसमें क्या रिकॉर्डिंग देखने के लिए मिली है और 8 मंथ्स में क्या रिकॉर्डिंग देखने के लिए मिली है, एंड द 11 मंथ देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ इंप्रूवमेंट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया ऑफ द ब्रेन, which shows that the patient has started the finger tapping task. Okay, now this is really helpful to show the patient, and the patient will also gets motivated with the result what he is seeing in the functional MRI. Now you have to know Before that, what we are thinking, the acute and subacute conditions are better treated with the help of the physiotherapy, but the uh, new inventions and the technologies has been totally changed, and they are presently telling that even in the case of the chronic stroke, if you can work hard, then there will be an improvement. And that is the result of this. In the 5 months there will be no change in the brain, and after the 11 months there is lot of changes which we can show to the patient really well what happens with your treatment. Okay, next slide please. Okay, we move over on to our next slide, and the third instrument. This third instrument is transcranial magnetic stimulation, and this is also called as repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation because it is applied in continuous trains. सुनने में थोड़ा सा मैग्नेटिक थेरेपी की थोड़ी सी याद आती है. In this condition, what we are doing, we are giving a magnetic field to the particular area of the brain, and that particular magnetic field is responsible for producing an electromagnetic induction, that is responsible for producing electromagnetic induction in that particular area, and that is responsible for the improvement. Now next slide please. In this transcranial magnetic stimulation, there is a connection of the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system, so that we can assess the past or progressive neurological insult also. Now if we can give it this transcranial magnetic stimulation को अगर हम देते हैं slow, then it will decrease the cortical activity, and if we can giving it in the higher range, then it will increases the cortical activity. Transcranial magnetic stimulation is particularly helpful in the recovery of upper limb motor function. Now why it is more helpful in upper limb motor function? Because the upper limb area is situated towards the higher side, while the lower limb and the our spine area, which is situated some side inside. So when we are stimulate, the upper limb can be better stimulated with the help of this PMS. I will show you in the next slide. Show me the next slide please. Now in this slide you can see how the magnetic field is created with this help of the transcranial magnetic coil, and this will produce an electric current in the upper part of the brain with the help of the skull. This is completely a non-invasive technique. Now one of the important part of this PMS is that it is used as a diagnostic as well as the therapeutic purpose. Now diagnostic means you can make a graph before and after the stimulation, and show the patient the improvement, and the treatment means it can also stimulate the brain, so the brain activity has been increased or decreased. Initially this is particularly used in the cases of depression, anxiety, psychosis, mood disorders, but now the change is occurring in the field of neurology, neurological rehabilitation. Now this is now presently used in the stroke, Parkinson's diseases to show the improvement in this. Now just I show you one of the small video of the transcranial magnetic stimulation. Everyone see this video. Rajesh, please continue with the video. Please continue with the video. Yeah, show me the video please, Rajesh. Now please see the video. Everyone should sure see this video. Rajesh, please show me the video. Rajesh, is my voice is audible?
They have become dysfunctional from disuse.
Video is not coming. Video is not coming.
Not visible?
Not visible. Video is not visible.
Okay. Then?
Repetitive.
No. Yeah, please show me the video, please.
The problem we're trying to solve in stroke.
No, presently not.
The problem we're trying to solve in stroke is to help people have a higher recovery of
Not visible.
Please start it.
the brain. Is
Right, it's not coming. It's not seen.
help those
Only
around
2
them
minutes, sir. Just
to
waiting.
experiment,
Yeah.
but have become dysfunctional from disuse. Repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation is a way to stimulate the brain without surgery. This
Yeah,
we're
it
trying to
started.
solve in stroke is to help people have a
Thank
It's
you, Rajesh.
visible, sir.
hand function.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
We're trying to
Okay.
Audible and
Now
visible.
everybody, audible not required. Audible not required. My voice should be audible to everybody. Now just see this video. In this video, firstly, the name has been written repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation, diagnostic and therapeutic therapy. Now, see this. This is a magnetic coil which is provided to the particular area of the brain, and by the activation of that area, the particular movement has been started. Now, initially, see that therapist is doing the measurement, and after that he is applying the coil, and this is the recorder where we can record the motor time, conduction motor time, as well as the silent period. The three things are there in the recording. One is called as the motor time, then combined motor conduction time, and third one is the silent period. These three things are recorded. Now, after that, we are giving the stimulation, and that stimulation increases the cortical activity. You can see in this patient, she is giving the stimulation to the patient, and after the stimulation, some movements are going on. I think so. The complete video is not coming. Now, see, after giving the session, this is the virtual reality. What you have learned in the last class, the patient has to do the activity in the front of the computer, which is a virtual reality movement. Now see how the fingers which are not working, the patient has given a task. If you can see the video, patient has given the task to pluck the flower petals. मतलब flower के एक-एक petals को तोड़ने के लिए कहा जाता है.
Sorry to disturb you,
और
sir.
in clinical mode.
Yeah.
Sir, only you have 3 minutes only.
That it continues to evolve.
Okay.
as
Okay, just no problem. Patient के इसको एक-एक को तोड़ने के लिए कहा जाता है, and the patient is able to complete it. Okay. Now I move on to the next slide, please. Rajesh, please move on to the next slide. Now this is the future planning, how we move over on to the neurological rehabilitation. So what we need is particularly is to connect the investigations with the treatment way. Show me the video only, Rajesh. Show
Yes,
me
sir.
the video.
In this paper,
Okay.
two
Now,
people with
a
It is-
main thing is
It
to,
is visible,
people
sir.
who were unable
no, not
to
visible.
move their arms or their legs and any
Not visible. Not a problem.
were able
Show
to
me the video.
control
That's all.
a prosthetic or a robotic arm simply by thinking about the movement of their own power.
Is it visible, sir?
Just no, not visible.
Two people with tetraplegia. That is, two people who are unable to move their arms or their legs in any functionally useful way. We're able to control a prosthetic or a robotic arm simply by thinking about the movement.
चलिए मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि क्या फ्यूचर प्लानिंग है कि इस इन्वेस्टिगेशंस को कैसे हम ट्रीटमेंट के साथ जोड़ सकते हैं. सो एक्चुअली ये इन्वेस्टिगेशंस को फ्यूचर के साथ जोड़ने के लिए मैंने एक वीडियो आप लोगों के लिए रखा था, दैट इज ऑफ द
Unable
particularly
to move their arms or their
BCI,
legs in
that is
any
brain computer interface video. उस brain computer interface वीडियो में बेसिकली जो मैं आप लोगों को बताना चाह रहा था कि अभी प्रेजेंटली ऐसे इन्वेस्टिगेशंस हो गए हैं कि ओनली बाय द थिंकिंग द पर्सन इज quadriparesis. He is unable to move both the upper limb as well as the lower limb. But now only by the thinking he can perform the activity. Rajesh, can be possible to run the video? Can it be possible?
Is it not visible, sir? But my screen is
It is.
visible, sir.
Okay, but I think others will also not see.
Okay, just 1 minute. We'll try. Is it?
Yeah. Now, okay, thank you, Rajesh. Just leave this. Okay. Now, in this, I just show you. This is one of the doctor who is treating. He's a neurologist treating. This is an completely quadriparetic patient, and see, she is unable to move both the upper limbs as well as the lower limb. But now the patient is doing the activity by the performing his brain function.